Hey, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Today is an exciting day because I get to talk about that giant TV sitting behind me. That is the LG OLED C1 65-inch. That is their new TV this year. It's incredibly cool. It looks really nice. The picture quality is crispy. But if you guys cast your mind back to last year, I also had a chance to check out the LG OLED CX, also 65-inch TV. That was a fantastic model. This is the new one, obviously in light of the next generation consoles coming out, PS5, Xbox Series X. That now has HDMI 2.1 support and loads of other things. So in today's video, I thought we'd take a little bit of time just to talk about some of the key features and kind of just give some initial impressions. This is not going to be an in-depth review. This is just going to be me having a chance to test it out. I've been messing around with it for the past week. It's a really nice TV. I've enjoyed it. A lot of the time I spend my time playing on smaller monitors, so when I get a chance to jump on and just play games on a massive screen, it's a cool experience. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. If you have any questions about the products, definitely let me know. And of course, if you do want to find out even more, you can click the link in the description box down below. I do of course want to let you guys know this video is sponsored by LG. They very kindly sent me the TV so I can check it out and obviously show it to you guys. So let's talk about, in fact, before we even talk about the specs, let's just talk about the outside. This thing looks so clean. It is incredibly thin. It is like, okay, not paper thin, let's be honest, because paper is incredibly thin. The day a paper thin TV exists, I'm gonna be mind blown. But this is so thin. I mean, thinner than a pen, thinner than like my iPhone 12. It is very, very thin. You look at that from the side and it's like, did I just draw a line down the screen? No, that's actually a TV, believe it or not. It's also got an incredibly thin, well, it's basically got no bezel, so you have this nice picture that runs up to quite literally the edge of the screen, looking incredibly nice. It also has the same sort of meaty, weighty base from the previous model, so it's kind of heavy, obviously needs to be, but the nice thing is the weight of it, the bulk of it is kind of hidden behind the TV, and the rest of it is just this nice, sleek, sort of metal bit at the front. So looks-wise, it just looks fantastic. And of course on the back you have a variety of different ports. The nice thing is this one, something you might have sort of seen on more recent TVs, sometimes they have like just 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, regular ports as well. This one has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, so it's very, very good for your next gen setups. But if we take a moment to talk about some of the stuff that you want to know about this TV, first things first, it's a self-lighting OLED. So LG's OLEDs basically have self-lit pixels that can turn on and off to help sort of achieve that infinite contrast. It basically means that, on the other end of the spectrum, you have really deep blacks, like perfect blacks. And this is obviously something you wouldn't normally get from regular LCD or LED TVs. This also has the latest Alpha 9 Gen 4 AI processor. The processor actually has some kind of rather interesting sort of features or uses in the TV. It helps to enhance picture details, so it can kind of help remove noise, optimize contrast, saturation, and it can also offer some automatic brightness adjustment. But on top of that, it even has some sound uses as well. It can actually automatically adjust your sound volume based on the genre that you're watching, which is kind of useful. Obviously, I'm speaking about this more so from a gaming point of view, but still, movies, that kind of stuff, it's going to be nice. You also have Motion Pro, which is basically their advanced motion handling technology that helps to reduce motion blur to kind of deliver sort of smoother action and a better viewing experience. And on the topic of better viewing experience, for those of us that sort of sit in front of the screen for quite a long time, I'm one of those people, guilty. It actually has eye comfort, which is basically their sort of low blue light and flicker-free technology that can help to sort of reduce that eye fatigue. You have to turn it on in the menu, and in doing so, it'll kind of adjust the colors. But if you were to sort of sit down and play for extended periods of time, especially later in the day when you want to try and avoid that blue light so that you can actually get your sleep, because sleep is super important, then it kind of comes in handy. However, for the gamers out there, the stuff you really care about, this is a G-Sync and FreeSync TV. So obviously having both of those helps to sort of achieve those super smooth visuals when you're gaming, avoid screen tearing, screen ripping, that kind of stuff. But it also has, new in this TV, a game optimizer mode, which has got quite a few different features actually. You can kind of access this really easily from the settings menu, and when you turn it on, it basically has different game modes to sort of cater to different visual needs. There's, a standard preset, but you can actually pick based on games you're playing, so FPSs, strategy games, role-playing games, stuff like that. But then you also have very quick access to adjusting, say, the blacks. Bear in mind, sometimes when you play those sort of darker games, horror games, you might want to sort of tweak things occasionally. So having this sort of game optimizer mode allows you to very easily, based on the game that you're playing, make those changes. It also has a fast response time, 1 millisecond response time, and it also has low input lag for a nice gaming experience. Again, I know typical gaming thing, if you're playing super competitively, you typically lean more so towards a monitor, but if you want that sort of cinematic gameplay experience and you're kind of just want to sit on your couch, enjoy like a story-driven game or something like that in like an epic, huge, fantastic looking screen, then having that lower response time is still going to be kind of handy. And obviously, as I mentioned before, HDMI 2.1, 4 inputs this time, which is fantastic. I mean, obviously, if you have a PS5 and Xbox Series X, you don't really need more than that. But regardless, it's still nice to have more. So 4 inputs this time around. Obviously, HDMI 2.1 increases the bandwidth. So this is kind of future-proofing because some of the sort of PS5 games, Xbox Series X games right now don't necessarily all take full advantage of this. But keep in mind, HDMI 2.1 allows for things like 8K 60 or 4K 120, and of course, eventually, resolutions all the way up to 10K. It also supports dynamic HDR, things like that. So it's just one of those things that moving forward will eventually kind of start to become the standard, so we can get the most out of our TVs, out of our machines, and just sort of have the best visual experience. Speaking specifically about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X consoles, of course, other things that come with this are, variable refresh rate, low latency modes, and again, 120Hz gaming at 4K. So, it is a good TV. If it's one of those kind of things where you're picking up a PS5 or you're picking up a Series X and you're looking for one of those sort of TVs that supports HDMI 2.1 that will allow you to, take advantage of those games as they start to release and as more kind of companies start to support that, then this is a fantastic model. But all in all, for the time being, that is a quick look at the LG OLED C1 65-inch. Honestly, it's a monster. I've been loving it, even if it does take up my entire desk. But there's something kind of crispy about just sitting down and playing some of those fantastic looking games on that incredible looking screen. In fact, I can't wait for Ratchet & Clank to drop because that is going to look nice on that screen. But for the time being, that's a quick look. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know again if you have any questions down below. Again, thank you to LG for very kindly providing the TV, and don't forget to click that link if you want to find out more details. If you want to catch more from us at HyperX Gaming, don't forget you can catch the guys 269, Paradise Central and Investmore streaming over on Twitch weekdays, playing a variety of games. If you guys want to jump in, tune in, watch and even join in, then make sure you check them out. The links to those are in the description box down below, and of course you can join the Discord to get involved in all of the discussions.